Welcome to Reach the World ASAP. I'm Pastor Scott Griswold with ASAP Ministries. This year, my wife Julie and I celebrated our 25th anniversary. I am so thankful for the way God blessed me with a wonderful wife who truly loves Jesus. I can really picture that special day on March 4, 1990, when our two families and many friends came together for a terrific church wedding. We were blessed to celebrate our 25th anniversary while back in beautiful Thailand on a mission trip recently. Lots of people love to go to weddings, while plenty of others would just as soon skip the ceremony and show up at the reception for some cake. But I want to tell you a story about a young lady who almost didn't get to go to her own wedding. There's a tropical country where the hills are beautifully green all year long. There are gorgeous flowers and fascinating birds. High up in the mountains, ladies sit for hours embroidering beautiful traditional tribal costumes. Men work together in the rice fields and relax at night talking together. Sounds like a very peaceful place for a vacation or even an outdoor wedding. But if you look closer, you will see communist officers patrolling the area diligently. This is Vietnam, a country that officially declares religious freedom, but still maintains careful control, especially in the highlands. Not long ago, a young Hmong tribesman that we'll call Gong Cheng told his fiancée, "We can't get married yet. My parents still oppose our wedding." Her name was Missy, and she agreed. "It's the same for me. I don't know how long it will take for God to answer our prayers. I'm so eager, but my parents are so set in their ways." Gong Cheng knew why. It was because the two of them had followed the truth they had learned from the radio program Peace and Happiness. They had learned about the soon coming of Jesus and determined to be his commandment keepers, including honoring God's holy day, the Sabbath. They were baptized as Seventh-day Adventists. Gong Cheng thought about that day. There were a lot of Protestant Christians in his village. Some did not have a connected relationship with Jesus. They didn't like him sharing the truths he was learning as he passed out DVDs from Pastor Isa. They forbade him from joining what they thought was a cult. The more he shared the biblical evidence for the truths, the angrier they became. He could still almost feel the bamboo pole crashing again and again on his back as they beat him when he left their church. Gong Cheng turned his thoughts back to Missy. "You know what the church leaders said to my parents? They said, if Gong Cheng brings a Seventh-day Adventist pastor to hold the wedding, we'll ambush him and do him in. I think the village chief is even on their side. What are we going to do?" Missy simply replied, "We have to keep praying. God brought us to the truth and to each other. He will make it happen." It wasn't long after that when an ASAP-sponsored worker named Pastor Trong got a call. Gong Cheng exclaimed, "God worked a miracle. Missy's parents have finally agreed for me to marry her." They set the date for the wedding, and Pastor Strong was asked to come and officiate it. They were so excited. The way was finally clear. On that special day, at 9 a.m., when the program was about to start, there was no sign of the bride. They waited and waited, but none of her family appeared. Pastor Trong tried to reassure the groom, "It's going to be okay. She'll come soon." They paused frequently to pray. They knew how much the family had previously been against this marriage. But could they really stop the marriage? Yes. Pastor Trong said again, "God will do the impossible. Trust and you will see." But Missy was beside herself. There, with her family, she was struggling between worry and trust. Relatives were doing everything they could to stop it. "He's waiting for me. You said I could marry him." But they wouldn't let her go. All she could do was pray. Finally, at 6 p.m, they let her free, and the wedding was on. Pastor Trong deliberately gave the honorary positions to the village chief and the elderly relatives. He then preached a powerful message. DVDs of Pastor Isa's radio sermons were handed out to everyone who attended the service. No one interfered. When the ceremony and reception were finished, the chief urged Pastor Trong and his traveling companions to stay at his house. He had heard about the intent to ambush Pastor Trong, and he wanted to make sure his guests were safe. Gong Cheng and Missy are now a united couple in the Lord. They share literature and DVDs with others whenever they can. Now, if you are married, I'm guessing it wasn't quite as hard for the bride to show up. Most families are pretty supportive and excited. In fact, most Christian weddings in North America take place with great joy and great expense. I want to tell you about two couples who found a way to share their joy with those who have a lot less. Recently, we were happily surprised by a wedding announcement that arrived at our office. Ruthie Mills, one of our ASAP volunteers, and her fiance, Joseph Rees, had an idea. Some couples get too many of one kind of gift, like 5 toasters or 10 crystal bowls. Joe and Ruthie decided to create a registry that went beyond Bed Bath & Beyond to include ASAP Ministries. Friends and family could give a donation to ASAP in the honor of the couple. What a special way to celebrate new love. A party that includes widows, orphans, and the unreached, just like Jesus said. Another bride named Esther shared with her then fiancé David that instead of an engagement ring, she would much prefer a mission project. David was surprised, but he liked the idea. So he presented her with a money gift. She could choose the charity. They contacted several organizations. Nothing seemed to work out. This was really important to her, so Esther and David fasted and prayed. God, please reveal your perfect will for our special gift. Esther contacted ASAP about a project idea. At that very time, our staff and local prayer partners were united in praying daily for God to provide some needed funds. This was a direct answer to our prayers. Together, ASAP and the couple chose a village in Cambodia, and soon a church began to be built. The costs grew beyond the wedding gift. Esther's parents joined in with further help, and now the believers have a lovely place to worship. They dedicated it to God, the God whose love makes a house a home. David and Esther plan to take the children that they hope to have someday to visit the church that love built. I think these 2 examples are really beautiful. Shouldn't our whole lives be about inviting people to know and love the God who is like a faithful bridegroom? He's getting ready to come to take his bride to heaven where they will live happily ever after. We have to let people know. You might help send that heavenly invitation with a creative fundraising idea like these couples did. Or you might do it by sharing your faith right in your own town. You certainly can help that couple in Vietnam to have sufficient truth-filled DVDs to share throughout the highlands. The National Missionaries in Vietnam have set a faith goal of 1 million DVDs to give out in 2015. It only costs 25 cents a DVD. We can help them raise $250,000, don't you think? So far, we have sent every penny of the $22,273 that have come in. So we have just $227,727 yet to go. If we realize how incredible his love is for every single person in the world, we are just going to have to join in with the call of Revelation 22:17. The Spirit and the bride say, "Come." Let him who hears say, "Come," and let him who thirsts come. Whoever desires, let him take the water of life freely. Together, let's reach the world ASAP.